Today on the channel, guys, the new TX10. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back you 180,000 subscribers wanting drone truth on the channel. Today we're going to check out something new. It's the FIMI TX10, and this is an Android operating system touchscreen system for the FIMI X8 SE here. I've had this drone for about 2 months now. I took it on a trip overseas to France, and when I had this drone over there, I did have the original controller, and I was flying this from my iPhone. Now, in my testing this year, this is really beneficial to you if you already own this drone, because I'm going to tell you something right now that actually could have made a huge difference on my trip. And what happened was I was flying this with my iPhone, and during that flight time, it was hard to see what I was doing, mainly because the iPhone starts to dim the screen when it starts to overheat. It was 95 degrees. We were out in the middle of the southern France vineyards, and it was a really hot day. It was also very dry out, but the problem was I couldn't barely see where I was flying, so I had to look at the screen really close. And with the Mini 3 Pro over here, it has this touch screen which comes with the more high-end package. But the thing about this screen is, versus the iPhone, I could really see where I was going with my Mini 3 Pro, so I was able to come home with better shots than what I got with the FIMI X8 SE. I had to fly it much higher and stay away from anything low to the ground. So now we have the added benefit to be able to really see where you're going, use a touch screen, and have a ton of functions on the TX10. So I think this is really a cool upgrade for FIMI owners. If you do own the FIMI, this is not a bad investment to upgrade your FIMI and really be able to see where you're going on those hotter days. So why don't I take you on a test drive? Let's go out and fly this together with this new TX10, and I'll show you from the GoPro's perspective on a chest cam what's happening on screen. I'll show you all the features that it has, and we'll come back to the bench and I'll give you my final opinion on the TX10. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with this flight test of the TX10 on my left right here. And notice the screen is just a little bit bigger than DJI's RC. The nice thing about this controller is that it also does run Android. They both have a matching battery time. This one has 4 hours on the battery time, and this one has 4 hours. You can also run Android apps on this one, which I like, and they both have removable sticks. This one also has a new transmission system. This will run out to about 10 kilometers. But today we're flying the TX10, and that's what this review is all about. So let's go ahead and get started with the flight and some of the features that it has. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and do the flight test. Today we're testing out the TX10. So let's go ahead and down and out and to the center. Let's go ahead and arm the drone. Start the recording on the drone and come up off the ground. And here we go, guys. We're just gonna go ahead and do some forward flight here. And right now we're in cinema mode. We can go to normal and sport mode if we want to go a little faster. And the biggest difference between this and just using your phone, again, like, is being able to see what you're doing. It makes a huge difference. It just kind of changes the whole experience for me. Using the phone goes dim when it's super hot, but I can really see everything here on the 5.5-inch screen. So we have 16 satellites today. And again, you're in normal mode here, flying along straight ahead. We have sport mode, which will make it go a lot faster, and cinema mode there. We have a C1 button here on this side and a C2 button here. We have yaw, pitch, and roll on this stick. 2 auxiliary dial wheels. This will be able to change different parameters. If you want to program those, you can do that. One thing I didn't like about it was that C1 and C2 are kind of near the sticks here, so if we could talk about some negatives, that might be a negative. Now we're just going to go ahead and go forward here, this direction. And we also have, like DJI products, we have a pause button here. If you get in trouble, you can hit the pause button and it will hold its position for you. That's also right above the return to home switch right here. So return to home switch is here. We have C7 right here as well. C7 is your gimbal, so that moves your gimbal up and down. We have C3 here, a programmable 3-position switch. It's a small switch. And we have C4 on this side. This is a momentary switch. We have another dial here, C8.
We have video and photo on the same button, unlike the Mini 3 Pro. Mini 3 Pro has two big buttons on both sides, but they combine it into one button here. So if I want to start and stop the video, I just reach out with my right index finger and I can start and stop the video. Now we also have HDMI out. If you want to use a monitor, this is really cool. We have HDMI out right here. We have SIM card support for flying this on 4G transmission. That's huge. That will let you fly as long as you have a cell phone signal, which is pretty amazing. So you can get some serious distance. If you want to get out that full 10 kilometers out of this drone, sure, you could do that. We have USB-C charging here. We have headphone support there as well for audio. On the back, we have some nice C6 and C5 buttons for programming, slots for your gimbals, for storage, for traveling, and we have a secret little compartment back here for being able to add different modules on there. Maybe you want to do a range extender and add a different antenna on here. We have rubber grips as well, which is cool. So very similar to the DJI RC, but again, everything on the FIMI is just bigger. Now, one of the things that I love about this transmitter, it is also running on the new ROK system, which is really gonna extend my range and give me better penetration. So right now there's kind of a hill between me and the drone, and I'm gonna show you the transmission here. So I'm gonna put it into sport mode. I'm also gonna bring my camera gimbal down, and I'm gonna make sure I'm clear of the trees, but I'm gonna go down into this field right here. So you can see that we have a field over here to my left, and we're just going to go down in the middle of the field right here. We're going to turn around, and I'm going to show you some power lines that are straight ahead, and you probably won't be able to see it. This is where we should have ultimate breakup. If we have any breakup, you'll see it here. And as we approach these power lines, the biggest thing about flying a drone is being able to see the things that you can't see normally on a phone. Having a larger screen really helps with that. So as we get near the power lines, let's just wait until we can really see them. I can see that they're vertical, and so right about there is where I can see them on the transmitter here, which is cool. So I know to go up and avoid those power lines. And depending on the day or the direction also will be a big thing, but we didn't have any breakup in the TX10 transmission coming back here. So there are those power lines again. We're just gonna go toward them again. And from this direction, I can see them on the transmitter. So I'm gonna go above again, avoid those power lines, and I'm in sport mode. So if you're in sport mode, it's important to be able to see things at a high speed. Biggest enemy of most drones are power lines. I have hit power lines before. I've actually hit those same ones right there. So this transmitter has more options than the DJI RC, which is actually really nice. We have about the same range. We have a 4-hour battery operating life, which is good. We have HDMI out, full-size HDMI out, which is freaking awesome. And we have 4G support. You don't have that on the DJI RC. So I'm not bashing on the DJI RC. Some people get all upset. Oh, he's a DJI basher. I'm actually not. I love DJI. DJI is one of my favorite companies. They actually produce some of the world's best drone gear since around 2013. I've been flying DJI since around 2013. So over 10 years building, flying, making tutorials for DJI. I'm the last of anybody that you'd call a DJI hater. I'm definitely not. So I'm gonna back off now on my speed, go back to normal mode. You can kind of see it go back into normal mode. Now, if you're working on a commercial operation or you just don't want to hold this transmitter in your hands, they give you tripod support in the bottom. They also have a built-in fan with venting on the bottom, which I love. I'm wondering why they didn't put any type of transmitter lanyard latch on here. There's no hook for a lanyard anywhere, so they only gave you tripod support there, but maybe there'd be an aftermarket lanyard for this. It just didn't come with one. So that would be a negative about this one. You have to hold this continuously. But being able to see where I'm going is really huge. And not having to worry about the screen being too dim. Because when the iPhone gets hot, you can't see a thing. And that's really honestly been a big problem for me with DJI drones and the FIMI. So this is all really good stuff for me. It really changed the way I fly, really, honestly. It lets me as a videographer be able to frame things up better. And I don't have the problem like we had with the FIMI before, with having this camera have a tilt in the horizon. So no horizon tilt today. Everything is completely fine. It's perfect. So we're gonna come back in now. We're gonna put it into cine mode. And we're gonna come down over the field, but we're not gonna go too close to the field because we do have sprinklers going today. I'm just gonna come in for a landing, and then we're gonna go back on the bench. We're gonna check this out on the bench. I'm just gonna show you a little bit about it on the bench. If you're interested in buying this one, you'll get a little more information. And you can decide for yourself whether it's worth the $300.
All right, guys, welcome back to the bench. At this point, you've probably seen a lot about the functions of the transmitter in this review, and you've seen the flight test. It's kind of hard to show the screen and how bright it is during the day with a GoPro attached to my chest harness, but we're back at the bench now, and you can kind of see how nice the color is on the screen in this type of setting and this type of lighting. I actually had to turn down the brightness of this transmitter all the way down in the studio so that I could really see it on the camera here. So let's talk about, you know, some of the positives versus the original type of setup. This is the one that it comes with, and this one is expandable. It has removable sticks. It doesn't have 4G support. It also doesn't have expandable battery options like this one does on the back. This one, once you use this expandable battery on the back, it is a 4800 milliamp battery, so it'll go from being able to run for 4 hours with the internal 4800. You're basically doubling that, so you can get now up to 8 hours battery time, run time on this TX10. So that's actually a pretty cool option. The DJI transmitter does not have the expandable battery slot on the back. So one other thing about this in comparison, and this is not really a comparison video, but some people might want to know this, these sticks are a little bit shorter than the TX10 sticks. So the DJI RC sticks are quite a bit shorter. So for guys that want longer sticks, some of you guys do, you want to be able to adjust the sticks up and down. You might have longer fingers. I know some guys are particular like that, but these sticks, they're not adjustable, but they are taller. The other thing that I think is pretty cool about it is that not only can you expand the battery life, you also have HDMI out. So if you're considering a monitor, you want to mount this to a tripod, this is also something that the DJI RC doesn't have. And again, I'm not a hater of DJI. I'm just making comparisons that I've noticed right away, because I've been using this one for some time now, and these make a huge difference if you're going to take a trip. You don't have to worry about charging your phone. It's great, and you can actually see what you're doing. With this one, during my experience of flying in France, I had a huge problem because my phone was so dim. It was like looking at a dark screen. You could just barely see the horizon in there, and whereas both of these, it's perfect. You can really see, and it's all touchscreen, so you can make your controls, you can make changes, and if you're in a professional setting, you know, get the battery extender for this one. And then you're going to be able to mount this to a tripod, have an 8-hour battery runtime for your job. You're going to have plenty of time. I know people that film construction sites. One of my friends builds bleachers around America. Diego takes his Mavic 3 with him, or Mavic 2 with him on job sites, and he can really get some nice pictures for his boss. So if you're someone who can benefit from a few pictures after you've, you know, for archives, or business purposes, these are great. So I like the fact that this is also kind of all on one side here, whereas the DJI RC, like I mentioned before, it has two separate kind of big buttons. This is way less complicated for people that are getting into flying drones, but if you want more options, the TX10 is freaking awesome. And, you know, if you're one of the guys that already has a FIMI, it's absolutely 100% worth the money to upgrade from this to this. It just totally changes the experience. It makes it enjoyable, and now you don't have to worry about your phone. So for FIMI owners out there of the X8 SE model 2021 and the 2022 edition, yeah, the TX10 rocks, and I love it. I especially love the fact that it's Android 9.0, quick charge PD QC 3.0 on here, and expandable battery. I just go on and on about the the more options that I have here, programmable switches and all that fun stuff. And unlike your phone, it has a physical fan, so it's not going to overheat like your phone and go dim on you. Just a great product. So if I have any pitfalls with it coming up, obviously I'll let you know if things go wrong. But for now, I'm really enjoying this one, and I'm very thankful that they sent this to me for review. I love it. So full-blown Android and a lot of fun. Changes the game. You can check out the link down below and use my coupon code. It's going to be BGDavis2022. And if you enjoyed this review, please do like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. I'll bring more drone truths to you coming up. So stay tuned. More reviews coming up. I will see you on the next one, guys. Happy FPV.